3, 2, 1.
Welcome to my presentation, which I'll be doing on the First Punic War, which fits with the theme of presentations I'm doing, the first of everything. The First Punic War was the first war of 3 to happen between the Romans and the Carthaginians. It took place between 264 and 241 BC. So, beforehand, both the Romans and Carthaginians were empires around the Mediterranean. They were both growing in size. The Romans had just conquered the whole of Italy, and the Carthaginians had control over North Africa, a bit of Spain, and loads of islands in the Mediterranean. And these islands kind of started the war. It started when the Mamertines, which were a group of Italian mercenaries, decided to take over a city on the island of Sicily. The city was called Messana, or Messina today. And after they took it, I'll switch to the map. This is the island of Sicily. When the Mamertines took Messana up there, Syracuse, which was a Greek colony, I guess, which broke away from the Greeks, they got a bit angry and decided to harass the Mamertines. And the Mamertines, in response, asked both the Carthaginians and the Romans to come and help them. The Carthaginians came first and helped push back the Syracuse. And then the Romans came and were like, what are you doing here? And that started the war between them, which took, or the first one lasted for over 20 years, 23 years. It was a long war, and it was very attritional. Not much progress happened. Some major battles happened though. One was Syracuse. The Romans won their campaign to take over Sicily started with Syracuse, and Syracuse, not being helped by the Carthaginians at that time, were forced to become allies with the Romans, and they helped them throughout the war. The general gist of the war is basically Romans won on land and the Carthaginians won at sea. The reason for that was because this was the first time the Romans were fighting outside of Italy, so their navy wasn't that good. In fact, there's a story that they didn't even know how to make a navy, and the way they did it is they just copied a Carthaginian ship that washed up on shore on Italy. The Roman navy wasn't good. They lost most naval battles, and even when they were losing and they asked for reinforcements, those reinforcements got destroyed in storms, and then when they didn't get reinforcements, they would retreat and then get destroyed in storms again. The Romans did have to rebuild their fleets quite a few times. But on the other hand, the Romans were beating them on land. And it was very slow progress for the Romans across the island of Sicily, which eventually they took over all of it, and which caused the end of the war. One major battle on the island of Sicily was the Battle of Agracchus, Agrakas, which is just in the middle. It's not actually on the map, though. And it was the Carthaginians' main base on the island of Sicily. So after they took that, they dislodged the Carthaginians from Sicily and they had to retreat. After it ended, it didn't. The second one started like 20 years later. So, like, what's the importance of it, right? The Punic War, the first one, especially, and all of them, are known for having, like, still having an effect on the modern world today. Like, it's because of the Punic Wars that most European languages are based on the Latin alphabet and not Arabic, which I think was Carthaginians.
Right.
And which is why a lot of justice systems in the world and law are based off of the system that the Romans had in place. And even from the Carthaginians' side as well, they had a general called Hamilcar Barca, and he was actually the one to set up the city of Barcelona. Something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he set it up as a small town for his family.
Is that where the name Barcelona comes
That's
from?
where the name Barcelona comes from. Yeah. By the end of the war, over 1 million people had been in it. That's including survivors. And after this, there wasn't a war containing over 1 million troops until the 16th century.
Wow.
That's like nearly.
So that was a big thing, right?
Yeah, it was big. It was the battle for the whole of the Mediterranean. And a fifth of all Roman men died in the First Punic War as well.
Jeez.
And that's because of the difference in how they recruited soldiers, right? So in Rome it was compulsory to serve in the army like at least once in your lifetime or something, right? Whereas the Carthaginians, they didn't have a permanent army. They just bought mercenaries that and paid them to fight for them, which included Hamilcar Barca. Yeah.
So do you know where he was from originally?
No. I don't. But that was the First Punic War.
Forgive me if you've already said it, but what does Punic mean?
Oh yeah, I can tell you. So Punic, it comes from. The story goes is that the people who settled in Carthage, which is modern day Tunisia, were originally Phoenicians that came from another empire, and the Romans called Carthage Phoenicia, right? And the adjective for Phoenicia was Punic, and that turned into Punic. And so the sources for the war were Roman, and in it they referred to it as the Punic War. Yeah. After doing research, it seemed like quite an important wars, especially for Europe. And to sign off, is the moon. Thank you for listening.
Cool.
Thank you. Alright, Malachi? Feedback?
Got nothing.
Say it again.
Got nothing.
Got nothing in terms of feedback. Okay,
You wanna go?
I'll go. Okay, let's start with the ands. There were far fewer ands, which is great. I don't know if this was longer or shorter than your previous ones. It was 10 minutes.
shorter.
It was 10 minutes. But it didn't seem like 10 minutes. Or it didn't seem as droney as the other one. So the removing of the and is great.
Mm-hmm.
Still, though, no chaptering, no framing of the information, no
Right.
bookends apart from that's the end of my presentation and that's the start of my presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it just felt like you're reading from Wikipedia.
Right.
There's something you said about the reason the law system is the way it is, or the reason lots of languages are derived from Latin.
Mm-hmm.
That could have been a good framing device
Right.
for the
Yeah.
presentation. It was again this and then this and this and this and all without the ands actually,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't seem to have a structure to it.
Right.
Apart from the ands, I don't think there was any improvement over the previous one.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So for the first part of it, I was sitting and thinking, oh no, another war. And you're just going to tell us there was a battle here and there was a battle there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when you got to why it was important
Yeah.
that I thought, wow, this is actually pretty cool. So I think if you had rearranged
Yeah.
the order, like Josh said, and said, this is why I'm telling you about it
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
then you maybe would have, I wouldn't have that feeling like, oh no,
Right.
another story of a war. So I think it was good. I think it was pretty well delivered. I did not hear as many ends. I think you were quite relaxed, even when there were some moments of you not talking. It didn't seem like, oh my god, what am I supposed to say next? It was kind of, let it sink in, let what I have said so far sink in, and then let's
Mm-hmm.
move on. That felt nice, not forced. I think feedback for the future, keep not using the ends, and then. And another feedback is give us like a hook at the start.
Right.
Why would we be interested in it? Like,
Mhm.
I think you have to entice
Yeah.
listeners into your presentation because you are giving it for a reason, and you did give a reason, but it was kind of halfway through.
Yeah.
So you don't have to disclose like all of the reason, but some little hook
Mhm.
at the beginning would be good. But it was pretty good. It made me feel like there is so much of history that I don't know that shaped the world that we are in.
Right.
No, I think it was very, very good to learn that, and it was very informative.
Cool.
Thank you.
I'd like to second what she said about. There were two things, but I forgot one. But learning and realizing how much I don't know about history and why we are the way we are. So your theme for your different presentations, the first of something, is a good choice, I think.
Right.
I just need to be more entertained
Yeah.
throughout. And again, there was a lot of time looking at your mother, your mama, and did you look at Malachi once?
I don't
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Malachi, pass or no pass?
Pass.
Can you say why?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So I don't think you took on a lot of the what do you call them for next time? Feedback for next time kind of section. You didn't take on a lot of them. The only one that I could see really that you were taking on was the and,
Mm-hmm.
or taking out the and. So in the spirit of comparing yourself to yesterday, I give you a pass.
Okay.
And it's a pass from me.
Cool.